Alright guys, I'm back with my WWE Backlash 2016 pay-per-view review, and this was the first SmackDown pay-per-view of since the brand split. We cannot say SummerSlam was the first, because it was, Raw was part of that as well. So this was the first SmackDown pay-per-view that we had, since the brand split. So I did watch a pre-show this time. I know I said the last couple of times I didn't watch pre-show, but I did actually watch this pre-show. I don't know why, I just thought I'll watch it. So I thought, I'll check it out, see what's going on. So the pre-show panel is Booker T, Renee Young, Jerry Lawler, and Lita. It was a good panel. Like, it wasn't like the worst panel. It didn't like make me cringe or anything watching them talk about. I mean, they give the predictions. Lita. Jerry Lawler and Booker T go for Dean Ambrose. Well, Lawler and Lita went for Dean Ambrose to retain the title, and Booker T went for AJ. And they talk about the card, and Alexa Bliss got a promo saying that tonight she's gonna win the women's title tonight, and whatever she said. It was a short promo, but it was alright. And then we have Rhino and Heath Slater cutting a promo backstage with Tom Phillips. And then we get to the pre-show match. It's Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin. And this was a good opener. It was a good opener for the pre-show. It didn't last that long, obviously, because it's a pre-show. But Baron Corbin got the win, which was good. And the whole Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin thing, I think these two guys probably need a manager. It was a good match to get people interested into the show. But I think at the minute, with these two guys, they're not actually really doing anything at the minute. And these two probably need a manager or something. I don't know, because Apollo Crews just came out with a few with The Miz, so I don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't know. I think his start, Apollo Crews has kind of got a bit stale recently. That's just my opinion. Maybe he just needs a manager, like a babyface manager, to, get him going again. I don't know what it is. And Baron Corbin, he needs something to get me invested in this guy, because I'm not a fan of Baron Corbin. He's a big guy, and he's not that talented on the mic, but he's just a big guy, and WWE just pushes him because he's a big guy. Then he needs a bit more charisma. He doesn't have any charisma, in my opinion. I think his charisma is terrible. But on the other hand, on Raw, I like Big Cass, because he's got a character. He's over with the crowd, and plus, people are a fan of him. Baron Corbin, I don't see anything for the fans to actually get behind, you know what I mean? Like, there's no character there, there's no purpose there to get behind it. Baron Corbin, on the other hand, you can get behind Big Cass because he's got a good character, and he's teamed up with Enzo Amore, who are super over, But at the minute, Baron Corbin needs a manager, and that's what I think. Then we get a segment. We get to the actual show. We open up with a segment. Shane and Daniel Bryan come out. It's the same thing. What happens? I think the last 2 or 3 weeks we've had Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan open up the show on SmackDown, which has been. It was good for the first 2 weeks, but after a while it's getting kind of boring now. So they basically thank the fans and they talk about the match card for tonight. So the first match tonight was a 6 women elimination tag. A 6 women elimination. A match. It was just like a 6-pack challenge, women's style or whatever. So for the SmackDown Women's title, so you've got Becky versus Natalya versus Nikki versus Alexa Bliss, who killed it in that Harley Quinn outfit, and Chase Allen. That's my girl, man. Don't take my girl. And Carmella and Naomi. It was a good match. It was a solid match. I won't say it was a good match. It was a solid opener. And got the crowd into it. The crowd cheering or whatever. And my girl got eliminated first, Alexa Bliss, and then Natalya and Nikki got eliminated by Carmella, and then Naomi. Oh, then Naomi got eliminated, I think before that. And then it's Becky versus Carmella. Becky wins the match. I predicted that Becky should win the match. I know. Other people's I thought that probably Nikki was gonna win the title, but I thought in my preview I said give it to somebody different, give it to somebody like Becky Lynch, because Becky Lynch is over with the crowd, and she's not really she's over with the crowd, but she needs something to do at the minute. I think with this feud with Eva Marie, she just had she isn't in the feud at the minute on SmackDown. I know she was going to feud with Eva Marie, but she got suspended or whatever. But now you know, Becky Lynch could do something, maybe feud with a Natalia or maybe a Carmella. I don't know, but I don't know. Like, we'll have to wait and see for that. And then we get to a segment. Bray Wyatt takes out Randy Orton. Also, if you guys don't know, early on, before the show happened, it was reported that Randy Orton wasn't medically cleared to compete because of what happened at SummerSlam with him and Brock. And the way that they took him out was have Bray Wyatt take him out backstage. And it reminded me of when Triple H got took out by Sheamus a couple of years ago at Extreme Rules, which that was pretty good. But the thing was that the WWE spoiled it. Like, right, Randy Orton wasn't like medically cleared. Like, they spoil everything, and that's the type of thing I don't like about wrestling. The second match of the night was the Usos versus the Hype Bros. The Usos go over. I'm glad that the Usos are heels now. I'm glad they're not doing the whole, you know... it was getting so boring as babyfaces. Like, I was tired of seeing their asses on TV. So I'm glad that they're heels now, and hopefully we can see a good feud between the Usos and Slater and Rhino, hopefully soon. Then we had a segment with Rhino and Slater cracking jokes about tonight, and then we get to the third match of the night for the IC title, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. I don't care about the feud, but it was a good match. Miz wins with a skull crush finale, and before the match, Miz was like mocking Daniel Bryan with the yes chants in the match, but before the match he was actually saying, well, he was saying something like saying, you call me coward, well, I'm gonna sue like legal action over you, whatever, something like that. That was pretty good. So obviously, we're not going to see a Daniel Bryan and Miz wrestling feud, but maybe Daniel Bryan will probably bring somebody up from NXT, say, take this guy, maybe like a Samoa Joe or Austin Aries, I don't know, to like take out the Miz and win the title, I don't know. But that's what we call. I mean, Austin Aries and the Miz. I mean, that might be a good feud, or the Miz and Samoa Joe could be a good feud as well. But who knows? I mean, because Samoa Joe's lost the title recently on NXT, so it would make sense if Samoa Joe faced the Miz. You know, like Samoa Joe's like, Dave Bryan's like, you want to sue legal action against me, Miz? Well, I've got one of my old buddies from Ring of Honor, and then he brings out, you know, Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe comes out and you know, kicks Miz's ass, and you know, and they have a feud for the IC title. Then the fourth match tonight is Rhino and Slater versus the Usos. Rhino and Slater win with the gore. It was an okay match. And then the fifth match in the night, well, it wasn't a match, it started off with a segment. So Bray Wyatt comes out and he wants to win by forfeit, so the ref counts at the 10. Kane comes out, and then it's Kane versus Bray Wyatt in a no holds barred match. Bray Wyatt taunts Randy Orton, marks Randy up with the whole pose thing, and then he does a splash on the announce table to Kane. Bray Wyatt goes into the ring, tries to hit Sister Abigail on Kane. Randy Orton comes back out again, RKO's Bray Wyatt, and then Kane chokeslams him. So, in my opinion, Bray Wyatt has been totally buried now. In my opinion, you couldn't get any worse. I couldn't get any worse for this guy. When you think that Bray Wyatt a couple of years ago was going to be a main event star when he was in this feud with John Cena, and you know, he was like on the pink of the main event scene. 2 years later, he's losing to a 48-year-old man. Like, what the hell is WWE's logic behind Bray Wyatt's character? I mean, for a start, his character has gone stale. Number two, WWE don't give a crap about the guy. And number three, turn the guy face for goddamn sake. He's over. He could be super over as a babyface. Everybody loves Bray Wyatt's character. Bray Wyatt's character has been probably the best unique characters we've had in probably recent years, plus it's Undertaker and Kane, and WWE just don't want to push this damn guy. I don't know what it is. Is it because he doesn't fit Vince McMahon's criteria, or what it is? I don't know what it is with WWE and not pushing young stars. I know that they've pushed guys like AJ Styles and other guys, but AJ Styles was made in Ring of Honor and stuff like that. He doesn't need a big push. Oh, I'm glad he's getting a big push, but people like Austin Aries, I'm glad that they're getting pushed, but it took them time to get to WWE, and you have people on the roster like Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, Bray Wyatt, the three most underutilized wrestlers in the company right now. I mean, Cesaro, I mean, he's been part of WWE, what, 5 years? He performs great matches, night in, night out. Okay, and his promo was good. And then you got Vince McMahon coming out saying, oh, he's not over with the crowd, when the Cesaro sections are out. And then the same thing with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt cuts good promos. Maybe some of them have been stale last few months. But he cuts great promos, and then Vince McMahon like, I'm not going to push this guy. He's not John Cena or Roman Reigns. And that's what I don't like. And same with Dolph Ziggler. Like, the thing with Dolph Ziggler is like, he gets in the main event spot and Vince is like, bury him there. And I hate when WWE do it, especially when Vince McMahon does that. I mean, he can see like there's 3 main eventers like Cesaro, Bray Wyatt, and Dolph, and he refuses to push them. I mean, the same thing happened with Ryback, and that's why he left the company. Same with Sandal Rhodes. The list goes on. But it really annoys me when the WWE bring a established star like Austin Aries in and AJ Styles, and they push them to the moon, and you know they've already had guys like Dolph Ziggler and Cesaro and Bray Wyatt, the ones that they've molded in to the WWE way, and they just don't want to push them. That just really annoys me. Anyway, Kane won the match anyway, so yeah. And then we get to the main event. It was Ambrose versus AJ Styles. Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles for the WWE World title. This was the best match of the night. This was actually really good. Ambrose and Styles were going back and forth. AJ was working on Ambrose's leg most of the match. He was like hitting him, focusing on the leg with a calf killer. And then you had Ambrose trying to hit the dirty deed. I think he did hit the dirty deed once on AJ. AJ kicked out. And then we had a lot of back and forth. At the end of the match, AJ wins, which is good. And AJ is our new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I'm so glad the title's off Ambrose. Don't get me wrong, guys. I am a big fan of Dean Ambrose. But his title reign has been so lackluster. I think it's because of WWE don't know what to do with Dean Ambrose, because I think his character has gone a bit stale myself. I mean, I like the whole lunatic fringe gimmick. It's a real good gimmick he's had, but that has gone a bit stale. I thought probably at SummerSlam that he was going to turn heel or something, or Dolph. I thought in that feud with Dolph he could have turned heel or something and been a badass character, but I guess not, and he's still kind of, I don't know, getting a bit boring now. But I'm glad the title's off Ambrose, and I'm glad to give it to AJ Styles. Here's a guy that is the best poly wrestler in the company, the focal point of Friday Night SmackDown. We've also John Cena been on TV now, and Randy Orton, feeling Bray Wyatt. He's the top guy. So at the minute, I am so glad that the WWE finally pulled the trigger on AJ Styles and finally giving him his moment. And man, I'm so happy for AJ Styles. I hope that he has a long title reign with the WWE World title. I hope with his heel work. I hope that they don't just feed him back to John Cena. I hope it's not just John Cena versus AJ Styles just yet. I know we're gonna have a rematch between AJ and Cena in the future, but right now I'm thinking like we're not gonna see that just yet, because the WWE are gonna they're still establishing AJ Styles as their top guy on SmackDown, so they're gonna still have him in feud. The post are gonna still continue this Ambrose and Styles feud. Hopefully the feud gets better in the next coming weeks, going into No Mercy, and I'm excited to see what AJ does on Tuesday nights and Friday night. On Tuesday nights, it's going to be very interesting to see what else happens with the Usos and stuff. So yeah, overall, I would say Backlash was a good pay-per-view. It wasn't I was going into this pay-per-view thinking this is just going to be decent, but it was a good pay-per-view. So I'll probably give this pay-per-view out of 10. A 7 out of 10, guys. So that was my WWE Backlash 2016 review. What do you guys think of this pay-per-view? Leave your thoughts in the comments. What you guys bring out.